Welcome back to Pitso on SABC Lehae. Transport Minister Gunga has explained to Parliament how law firms are ripping off claimants through the Road Accident Fund, adding that the legislation needs to be amended to favor claimants and not lawyers. RAF appeared before SCOPA on the status of its legal tussle with the Office of the Auditor General due to a disagreement after the entity changed its accounting policy.
Some SCOPA members expressed concerns at the state of affairs at RAF, saying it's always embroiled in litigation. There are also complaints from claimants who are not satisfied with the services they receive. While the shareholder acknowledges that there are challenges at the entity, it says the legislation favors lawyers than claimants.
RAF paid a claimant through the lawyer 5.6 million rand. The lawyers, a white company, lawyers with a name, paid the claimant 57,000 rand. They didn't pay the claimant at least the 600,000 so that they remain with the 5 million rand. They paid the claimant 57,000 rand.
The entity has requested to be given until the end of January to decide on its court case with the AG. And it has defended itself from changing its accounting standard policy.
And the RAF is a social benefit fund that is instituted in terms of the RAF Act. And so currently those two standards actually, they don't result in a fair presentation of the state of affairs of this social benefit fund.
SCOPA has cautioned against this.
This sets into motion a very dangerous, slippery slope of a precedent of negotiated audit outcomes. We can't have that. And when the statutory bodies place it on the table that IPSAS 42 is not correct, and I'm being mild here, shouldn't we not explore our options as Parliament?
For more on the RAF Amendment Bill, let's welcome Advocate Justin Erasmus, Chairperson of the Personal Injury Plaintiff Lawyers Association. Advocate Erasmus, welcome to Pitso on SABC Lehae and DTT and SABC Plus. Well, Transport Minister Gunga says there is an urgent need to amend the Road Accident Fund legislation. As an association, what do you make of this?
I don't know why the minister says that. There are proposed amendments on the table. The effect of the proposed amendments, if they passed, will be to strip away almost all the rights that road accident victims have at the moment. It will be devastating to poor people in particular. Being in a motor vehicle accident will be almost a death sentence now. The ramifications of what is proposed are shocking. They really are. The difficulty that we have in the system at the moment is at the administration of the system. I would strongly dispute that there will be any benefit under the new amendments. In fact, as I say, the rights of road accident victims are going to be radically reduced if the new amendments are passed.
So, Advocate, why is it important that people should use the services of lawyers when they claim for compensation from the Road Accident Fund?
Well, it's not essential for them to use lawyers. Many people go directly to the fund all the time. And the Road Accident Fund has had many campaigns encouraging people to do so. Other people prefer to go to lawyers because the lawyers provide a professional service, and the experience shows that you tend to get a better outcome if you have a lawyer protecting your rights. But it's totally voluntary for members of the public to use a lawyer. They're entitled to, and as I say, many do go directly to the fund. So it's not so that people are compelled to use a lawyer.
So what is meant by moving from a compensation model to a benefits model to those that are claiming?
Look, compensation has a relevance. You compensated for what you lost. So say now you lost earnings because of your motor vehicle accident. You couldn't work, or you're never going to be able to work again, and you were earning X amount. your compensation should be in X amount. So there's a direct relationship between what you lost and what your compensation is. Going to a benefit scheme is you just get a benefit, which doesn't bear any relation to what you lost. And if you look at the proposed amendments, there's amendments to the loss of earnings that claimants will get. You will get a flat rate now, and you will get it in installments. That flat rate bears no relevance to what you lost. Currently, your loss of earnings will be the same or as close as possible to what you lost, and you will get it in a lump sum. Currently, you get compensation for general damages, which is your pain and suffering. Under the new system, you will get none. I can go through the list like this. It's very long. So in this context, going from a compensation scheme to a benefit scheme is a nice way of saying that we're going to reduce what you get to a social benefit that we decide, and it won't have any relevance to what you actually lost. So it's what I said earlier, that rights of road accident victims are going to be radically reduced. Compensation is going to be a fraction of what it was in the past because it's a benefit. It's no longer compensation.
So
I
Advocate,
should also add that if I could just add quickly, because it's important, is the proposed amendments also exclude vast categories of people from compensation. So say, for example, under the current system, if you're hit by a motor vehicle anywhere, you can get compensated. At the moment, you can only get compensated if you are on a public road. So if you hit in a shopping center or a townhouse development, something like that, you will get no compensation, you will get zero. Similarly, under the new proposed amendments, if you're hit by an unidentified vehicle, you don't know who hit you, you were knocked out unconscious, a vehicle drove away, you will get nothing. At the moment, that if you can get compensation if you weren't negligent, but under the new system, if you had any alcohol in you, you will not get compensated. Even if you, and this is the absurdity of the new system can be shown very well by this, because if you say now you go out for a drink, you're standing on the pavement waiting for your Uber, you're being responsible to go home, and somebody drives onto the pavement and hits you, although you contributed nothing to that accident, you will not get compensation, you won't get the benefit. So to circle back to the question you asked me, moving away from compensation towards a benefit scheme is a polite way of saying you're going to get much less, and in many cases you're going to get nothing.
Advocate, the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, raised issues of corruption
I'm
from
sorry,
lawyers.
I'm battling to hear you a little bit.
Okay, I'll repeat that, don't worry. So the Minister of Transport, Sindisiwe Chikunga, spoke about, she raised issues of corruption from lawyers. Don't you think this amendment will help to deal with corrupt lawyers?
Look, let me say this. This is the RAF system is a huge system. There's about 48 billion rand a year goes through that system. There are, unfortunately, and it's terrible for me as a lawyer to say this, there are some corrupt lawyers, but they are a very small minority amongst the tens of thousands of lawyers that provide a service to their clients. Where there are those occasional rotten apples, they must be sought out, they must be charged, and they must be prosecuted. But admitting that there are a few bad apples doesn't mean that the entire barrel of apples, all the other lawyers, are corrupt. The vast majority of lawyers are not corrupt, and I challenge anybody to bring statistics to show that there is widespread corruption. There is abuses, and those abuses must be found, stopped, and prosecuted, but it is not the general pattern.
Advocate, perhaps let's also use this time to educate claimants who will be going to the RAF. For instance, if I want to claim, how can I protect myself from, being robbed of my money or, or from suffering fraud from a corrupt lawyer?
If you feel that you're being overcharged by your lawyer, you must go to the Law Society of South Africa, the LPC, and ask them to investigate that lawyer. And they will do a full audit of that lawyer. Remember, the legal profession in South Africa is highly regulated. What fees can be charged is regulated by the Legal Practice Council. If anybody oversteps the mark, the Legal Practice Council will step in, investigate, and sort it out for you. So if people believe that there's wrongdoing, go to the Legal Practice Council, report the lawyer, and let them sort it out. But as I said, it's not, corruption is not widespread. Abuses are not widespread, but they do happen. And if anybody has any doubt, I urge them, and I'm sure every lawyer will tell you this, is go to the Legal Practice Council and get them to investigate. It's a simple form that you've got to fill in, or a phone call you can make. All of us in the legal profession want clients to do that because we want a clean profession.
All right, Mr. Advocate Erasmus, thank you so much for your time here on SABC Lehae. That was Justin Erasmus, the chairperson of the Personal Injury Plaintiff Lawyers Association, talking to us about, the RAF Amendment Bill. Several faith-based organizations in Limpopo took part in a road cleansing ceremony along the N1 North and South outside Polokwane. The groups were invited by the police to pray and perform rituals that could hopefully reduce road crashes during the festive season.
The cleansing ceremony led by the police in Limpopo aims to seek divine intervention in the hope that road accidents can be reduced this holiday season. Like many places around the country, Limpopo observes higher volumes of traffic during the festive season. Different spiritual groups performed rituals and prayed for the safety of road users.
We're here today to pray that the roads be cleared. All the drivers that will be driving along the Christmas and festive seasons.
The significance of today is to work with our government, to work hand in hand with all departments and stakeholders, the police.
We wish that this could happen infrequently until we report the 0-0, especially towards this festive season whereby we're going to have a lot of accidents. We wish that maybe we can report 0 for this year.
Last year, 179 people died on the province's roads. The figure declined compared to 2021 when 216 people died.
As far as accidents which happened in this road, there were too much. Like as we check for 2021, we had more, and then 2022 we had lesser. So we are praying that God have mercy on us, so that for 2023 at least it can be reduced.
Roadblocks were also conducted as part of the campaign for a safer festive season. Katle Khonyoni, SABC News, Polokwane.
For more on the story, let's welcome Dr. Mokirimane Malupe Manyama and Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba from the SAPS. Gentlemen, welcome to Pitso on SABC Lehae. I'm going to start with Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba. What prompted the road cleansing? Brigadier Mashaba, can you hear me? It seems like we have an issue with our connection right there, but I'm going to pose this one to Dr. Mokirimane Malupe Manyama. Please tell us the reasons behind the cleansing ceremony with the SAPS. All right, it looks like we have an issue. Yeah, please go on. I can hear you now. Dr. Mokirimane, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, though it's a bit troubling. You're not that audible.
Apologies.
But thanks for this that you gave me. Yeah, we held the ceremony yesterday for healing and cleansing our roads because of the accidents that's happening. It has been noticed that a lot of people are dying on our roads. So, and traditionally so, it's our responsibility to cleanse the road, especially where people died, so that we can cover all the spirits and take the spirits where it belongs. So in this case, we are cleansing because it's believed that if the sin has been happening and then you didn't cleanse, so that spirit will roam around and will cause another accident.
So, Dr. Mokirimane, we've heard of accidents happening in the N1, not only in the festive season. Don't you think it's also necessary to do this, ceremonies throughout the year? Because, like I said, accidents don't only happen in the festive season.
Yeah, I believe so too. It should be a norm that it should be done like that. It was for the first time I joined this ceremony, but my experience for that, it should be expanded to each and every department, each and every province. It should not be a sole responsibility for SABS to conduct that. But if every department has got the right to can do so, because we are using the roads, all of us. So it's our responsibility as a nation to take care of the roads, because this healing and cleansing, we invite God, we invite our ancestors. We use the cleansing rituals to perform there and clean, maybe hoping with the hope of casting or holding those spirits that are roaming around and hoping that the accident will not happen anymore.
All right, good news is now we have Brigadier Hlulani Mashaba on the line, and we're just going to, continue the conversation regarding the cleansing on the road, on the N1. So, Brigadier, please tell us your involvement with why this ceremony, because when we look at the SAPS, we know you as, a body that fights crime. So, please, okay, it looks like we lost him on the line there. So I'm just going to go back to Dr. Mokirimani. I do understand that you are, as traditional healers or spirit-based organizations, you are praying for the road. But also, what is my responsibility as a driver? Because I believe that spirituality is not enough if I'm also being negligent. What message do you have to the drivers on the roads?
To the drivers, let's all use our conscience. Let's all get into the vehicles with a sober mind. We must be cautious in a sense of allowing the other road users to share the road. It is our sole responsibility as drivers to see that we reach our destinations. For example, we must not get into the vehicle while being intoxicated. We must not be driving recklessly on the road and overtaking where there is barrier lines or restrictions. So it's the sole responsibility of the driver. Even the issue of overloading, the issue of vehicle not being roadworthy, that causes accidents.
All right, Brigadier seems to be back on the line. Brigadier Mashaba, welcome to Pitso and SABC Lehae. So when we look at the SAPS, we know you as a body that fights crime, that deals with crime. But, now you're being involved in a ceremony that is all about, cleansing the road. Why are you doing that as the SAPS?
Thank you so much for inviting us and for the opportunity. I must say the reason that we are involved, you know that law enforcement in South Africa work as part of a multidisciplinary operation. So you will have noticed that the operation channel that we continue to conduct in various districts within Limpopo, it comprises all law enforcement. In most cases, if you were to see us, you will see us with traffic because we work as part of an integrated. So the issue of road safety, it does affect us as the province, as the police, because you know that in most cases, these are the roads that transport contraband goods, and many suspects travel along these roads. So as a result, we know that the province itself also has a lot of influx in terms of people getting into the province for holiday adventures. So it is important that we also pray for their safety and for our safety as well, because we've got a lot of our own employees or our own members that are on the ground, many those roads. So the issue of cleansing and healing ceremony, it is also for our members as well and the general public or the road users that continue to use these roads on a daily basis.
So, Brigadier, we know of issues around this time of corruption wherein law enforcement officials take bribes from drivers. And, yes, we are praying for the roads, but as the SAPS, what are you doing? Do you have measures in place to ensure that, such things are dealt with? Because if we are saying we're praying for the roads, but still there's an issue of, officials who are still taking bribes, and, the issue will just continue.
Yes, we've got our plans in place. The provincial commissioner has outlined the safer festive season operational plan. Part of the plan is to deal with unscrupulous law enforcement officers or police on the ground who continue to conduct themselves with impunity. So anyone who will be found soliciting bribe or engaging themselves in corrupt activities, they will be locked up behind bars, and then we cannot allow our own officials to engage themselves in these bad practices. Should we see them, we will deal with them harshly. But we also call upon law-abiding citizens to report these incidents, because at some point you find that it's people who actually give our officers money. Why do you give somebody money? Why, instead of somebody maybe going to fix a windscreen, for example, or going to ensure that their vehicle is in good working condition, they just decide to pay money instead of going to fix the problem. So we're saying those that are engaging in these practices, bad practices, they will be dealt with decisively during this festive season. There is a zero tolerance towards criminal elements and corruption included in this particular instance.
All right, let's go back to Dr. Manyama. When you look at this ceremony, when you look at the visuals, you're seeing different people from, different faith organizations. Some are Christians, some believe in African spirituality. What does this mean to social cohesion as a country? Because you hardly find, people of different faiths together praying for one thing. What does this mean to, unity and social cohesion for us South Africans?
Like I said, it's a good thing. We should continue doing it. We should make it a norm that all the spiritual faith-based groups, the traditional healers, and whoever is able can speak directly to God, they can come and join us, even we do it. I hope the brigadier is listening, then it should be an annual thing, so that we can all come together as a nation, pray and heal and cleanse our roads, as much as we want all the people to be safe, to arrive safe home when they're using our road.
So in the beginning, you did say that this shouldn't be just a once-off thing or a festive season thing. It should also, continue throughout the year. Is there any commitment from you to say we're taking it forward? Maybe next year we're going to have it maybe in June or sometime in 2024?
The brigadier will lead us with that. I'm binding myself. I'm available to each and every event within the province. Even if it has to be extended to other provinces, I'm also available to that.
All right, Brigadier, I also want to ask you a question. What message do you have to our travelers, especially those that are traveling between Gauteng and Limpopo, in terms of ensuring that they are safe and they arrive home safely?
We would like them to battle up as they travel, and they must not overload their vehicles. We're seeing that overloading of vehicles, excessive speeding, and disregard of traffic rules and regulations are one of the most factors contributing mostly to fatal crashes, as well as you're leading to fatalities. So we'd like them to ensure that their vehicles are in good working condition. They are roadworthy as they travel long distances. Between intervals, they need to take periodic rest so that they deal with the issue of fatigue. Because fatigue also is one of the most contributing factors leading to fatalities. So people must have periodic rest along the way. They mustn't drive and rush, to make profit, especially, your public transport operators. We know that during this time, some of them, they hardly sleep due to the issue of making profit during this festive season. So we'd like to call upon them to exercise caution and ensure that they arrive alive and safe. This is for all road users, all categories of road users, passengers, drivers, and everyone alike, including pedestrians. Pedestrians also, during this time. They must never, do jaywalking along our arterial road or freeways, because we have noticed that last year, majority of our fatalities emanated from pedestrian category. So we'd like to caution them to say they must not do that. This thing of crossing on our busy road, it is one of the contributing factors leading to, a fatality.
Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us here on Pitso on SABC Lehae. Welcome back to Pitso on SABC Lehae. Operations have been halted at the Bakubung Platinum Mine in Ledig near Rustenburg after workers downed tools complaining about unfair labor practices. It's been 4 weeks since workers embarked on a strike. They are also demanding a wage hike. For an update on the matter, let's welcome the National Union of Mine Workers Union Rustenburg Regional Chairperson July Radibe. Mr. Radibe, welcome to Pitso on SABC Lehae. Let's talk about some of these issues. I believe some of the issues you are complaining about is unfair working conditions. Perhaps just unpack it to us. What are these conditions in detail?
Okay, no. I think based on the conditions that we are referring to now, is that these employees were working for a subcontract of Bakubung before they were insourced in Bakubung, and they were enjoying all these privileges of placement when they are pregnant. But now with Bakubung is different, because now when they are pregnant, they are being sent home and they are not accommodated in terms of placement. So that is one of the issues that we are saying. In terms of the industry, we've moved drastically that we don't subject our pregnant women to such conditions that Bakubung is subjecting them to.
So let's talk about the strike. What is the latest regarding the ongoing strike?
We just had a Zoom meeting with the CEO of Bakubung now, and we are busy assembling a team that will go down and engage employees, because they are saying we need to find each other in terms of addressing issues of concern, and our priority now is to get those employees to surface, because they've been staging underground since yesterday or the day before yesterday.
Perhaps now we can talk about the wage negotiation. We understand that if you are saying you want a pay increase, it means what you're getting is not enough. Perhaps let's start there. How much are they getting and how much do they want, to be paid?
Okay, no. I must put this forward, that this operation for a very long time was negotiated by NUMSA, because NUM just took over 2 months back. But in terms of their basic salary, they are saying they're demanding 16,000 as a lowest living wage. So you would understand, if they're asking for 16,000, that they're getting way less than that.
So we've also heard that they are, they've announced retrenchments. Can you please confirm if this is true, and if there are any talks regarding that? How far are you with the negotiation regarding retrenchments?
Yes, it was one of the agenda points that we just discussed on our Zoom meeting now, to say the GM of that operation was prematurely went to employees and pronounced or disclosed that they will be laying off 500 plus employees without a proper consultation to the union. So when our members confronted us with this news, we simply responded to say we were not informed, but however, we'll start engaging with the company. We can confirm that now a company have started engaging with us in terms of Section 189, but we are going to move very slow addressing that Section 189, because we want to believe that there were issues before Section 189 that were supposed to be addressed.
So do you know the condition of the mine workers who staged the sit-in, their health and stuff?
Yes, the deputy chairperson of the region yesterday, the Comrade Fani, went underground, and we managed to engage with our members, being employees of Bakubung, to release those that are on chronic. And I can confirm a number of 28 that surfaced yesterday, because they are having chronic conditions. But we also want to clarify this thing by saying there is no one who is held underground by any member. They're all willing to stage there. Hence, they've released those that are having chronic issues.
So let's talk about those that are willing to stay there. How long are these workers intending to stay underground?
Yes, after our yesterday's briefing, they said they will wait for the results or the outcome of this meeting. So our national office have tasked Bakubung head office to write their response, and from there we'll be proceeding underground to go and communicate to our members. Hoping that after they've seen a written response from Bakubung and commitment, they will surface today.
Mr. Radibe, if the matter is not resolved, what's NUM's plan moving forward?
Moving forward, we need to make sure that we address worker issues. We must be proactive addressing their issues, because now we don't want to be saying we were reactive, but the company was not actually coming to board so that we can address these issues. This matter could have been avoided if the company was complying from the beginning when we got the Pitso court.
So, Mr. Radibe, this issue of wage talks in the mining industry is not the first. This in South Africa, there's always issues of, workers in the mine not being paid well. There's always issues of unfair working conditions. Do you think, the government or these mine owners are doing enough to ensure that workers working in the mine are well taken care of? Or do you think it's always been an issue that will take time to be resolved?
No, it will certainly take time, because we want to believe that there's a department in government, the DMRE. They are the ones that should always come on board when we are having issues like this. But I can confirm to you now, even today's employees staging underground, we haven't seen the official of the DMRE to come and assist. But mostly I would say these investors and mine owners, they want to enrich themselves in an expense of our members, because now from time to time when we negotiate, we are embarking on the strikes and all that, because they don't want to adhere to the demands of workers.
Mr. Radibe, thank you so much for your time. Enjoy the rest of your day. That was NUM's Rustenburg chairperson, July Radibe, giving us an update on the ongoing Bakubung mine protest or strike in the Northwest Province.